All right, Andreas, how you doing, man?
Uh, Pretty good. Just been doing interviews from the morning. It's right now it's 10:20. I've been at it since 8 a.m.
Yeah, wow, jeez, man. Okay, yeah. All right. Well, hopefully, I could ask you something different. We'll see, man.
Yeah.
uh, so obviously, the fourth album, Everything Rots, is out 21st of March. That's cool.
Yeah.
Your first album, 2018, was Mark of Rot. Yeah, like, is there a connection with the Rot name? Did something that connect these two albums?
Yeah, I think like it's just been like a lot of like our lyrical uh content centers around kind of like negative experiences and the world falling apart, both on like a personal level and like a grander level. And I don't know, I feel like it's a good metaphor for things going bad. It's just like it's running away.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So it's
Um,
just kind of stuck to it. It's kind of like something we
yeah,
started out doing on the first record. I was like, it's actually pretty cool. I like the idea if that keeps going.
yeah, cool. The first track, Become Nothing, comes in with this like big crunchy sound. Have you guys changed any of your guitars or rigs or anything like for this album?
We actually went up in tuning. We used to be in drop F, and then now we went up to drop G. So it's not the tuning isn't as low as it used to. It's still very like down tuned,
Hmm.
but it's slightly less down tuned now. But it adds some more crunchiness. I also know our main songwriter and guitarist Chris is also like a full-time producer, and he is such a fucking guitar nerd. So he's definitely gone through I don't know like 10 different amps and 100 different plugins to find just the
Hmm.
Tony one.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
The-
So, how does writing work for you guys? Like, does a guitarist go, okay, I'm doing this sound, or you guys have a chat? Like, how's that kind of work?
So yeah, and we have Chris who's like our main songwriter. Usually he'll work on a demo, send it to the rest of us, and we'll kind of like pitch in. I'll write some vocals for it. This time around, I was like a bit more involved, like a lot more involved with writing all the instrumentals.
Hmm.
I was like the annoying guy sitting by his side, being like, "Oh, make the guitar go bam, bam, down." uh,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like the same kind of method we always been doing, like recording demos, sending it to everybody. Everybody kind of like pitches in, and we'll go to the studio, record it. I'll record the vocals and chops, send to the other guys. We'll do one more round of corrections, and then usually we have a song that we're pretty satisfied with.
Yeah, cool. And what about production and like mastering this time around? Did you guys do something different from the last album?
Now it's still just Chris who does everything.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, it's kind of like it also gives us a lot of creative control. It's basically done in-house, so we're doing everything in the band. So it allows us to really like go in depth with things. Where sometimes I feel like if you hire an outside producer, you can't just keep it changing things, or you can, but you gotta be really annoying to work with.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, man. Um, you got a few guests on this album. How does that come about? Like, do you sort of hear specific people in your head when you're writing that you want to join on a song, or does that happen differently to that?
Yeah, it's just like usually we'll write a song and be like, oh, actually, it would be really sick to have this guy doing this part, and then I'll usually just hit him up and be like, you want to jump on this track? And most of the time, people are pretty down. So,
Yeah, no, that's cool. Man.
hmm.
And you got the music video End Times. You're in a like a casket, right? Surrounded by, is
Oh
that
yeah,
maggots behind you? It looks kind of
yeah.
gross.
Oh, dude, that was awful. I hated doing that.
Yeah.
Live maggots crawling on my face. Oof, it was.
Yeah, yeah, that's
I
nuts.
did. I didn't have the best time doing that.
Yeah, fair enough. And you got those like ominous cloaked figures behind you and stuff. How do the
Yeah,
video ideas work with you guys? Like, is there a music video kind of producer who's doing that, or do you guys kind of have a chat and come up with some stuff?
it's mostly me.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like the creative director, whatever you want to call it. Sounds so pretentious, but
no, that's cool.
so
Yeah,
I've also edited all the videos
yeah, cool.
for yeah. So we've always just done our music videos with friends, and I've been very like hands-on with coming up with concepts and ideas, and especially like I started doing it on the last record, edited some of it, and this one I've just been editing all of it.
Yeah, cool, man.
So
So are
basically,
there?
with production and video stuff, we're basically a DIY band, but with a label.
Yeah, that's cool.
Uh,
Is there any more music videos coming up for this album before the release?
yes, so we just dropped a single today with a
Oh
video
yeah.
as well. That I made with, well, obviously I can't film it because I'm in front of the camera, but
Hmm.
I have my good friend Maxim who's been doing all of our filming all of our videos, filming it with me.
Hmm.
So yeah, that drops today at so the video drops at 5 p.m. our time, so sometime during the night in Australia.
Yeah, nice. That's cool, man.
Uh,
Yeah, awesome. Which track is that for? Which video is that?
it's a track called Redemption Denied.
Oh yeah, cool. All right, nice.
It's a very heavy, fast track for our standards. Like,
Yeah, that's cool. So last year, something else you were doing. I saw you did vocals on Life Sick with Legacy and Misery. Yeah.
yeah,
Do you know those guys? Like, how'd you get together with Life Sick?
yeah. So Leipzig is one of our best friend bands. Like, I went to high school with all of
Oh,
the
okay.
guys in Leipzig.
Hmm.
We're from like a small town in the rural part of Denmark,
Hmm.
and we've always like been a part of that scene that was around there. So we've always went to shows together. We played in a bunch of different bands like together, and we even brought Leipzig out on our first headline tour
Hmm.
in all over Europe, and we've toured together a bunch, played a bunch of shows together. And I grew up with the guys, so it just made a lot of sense to do something with them.
Yeah,
And they asked me
that's
to
cool.
jump on a song. I was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, nice. So talking early days, like so CABAL's been what 2016-ish, I think that's right. Yeah, when you
Yeah,
guys started.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So 9 years. Like what was the metal scene like where you guys were from? Like in Denmark? Are there local gigs when you sort of started out, that kind of thing?
yeah. So when we started out, it was like I feel like the metal scene was kind of a little bit in a rut. Like it's it was like we obviously are more like modern sounding metal band. We're like leaning towards some
Yeah.
like core and stuff, and there wasn't a lot of that going on. Uh, like at least not with a lot of success.
Mm,
Uh, so it, at first it was we were just like, yeah, okay, 50 kids come out, that'll be sick. Like,
mm,
and then like gradually the show started getting bigger, just like the more modern metal scene or hardcore scene just kept growing, and all of a sudden it's like it's doing pretty good here now.
mm. That's
Like,
cool.
yeah, it's a really cool thing to be a part of. And
Yeah.
it's it took I feel like it took a while for that kind of sound to be a bit more accepted in Denmark. We were like traditionally it would mostly be like thrashier stuff, black metal-y stuff, or like straight up death metal that do well here.
Mm,
But now we're kind of like at a point in the Danish scene where like yeah, modern bands crush as well. Where I'm like, it's yeah, and it's so sick. It's really fucking cool.
yeah, man. That's cool. And then it was sort of after that first album that you really started to kind of take off internationally, right? And play shows and all that kind of like overseas and everything,
Yeah,
right? That's cool.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what was the kind of the first kind of pinch yourself moment where you're like, I can't believe we're playing this gig, you know? Like, can you sort of remember where that like you could kind of realize, oh wow, this is pretty big, you know?
Yeah, I think there's been like a lot of those moments for us just because we didn't really expect anything.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, so I think like one of them was we're playing this Danish festival called Copenhagen, uh,
Hmm.
which was like in 2019 when we played there the first time, and we had like the opening slot on a on a Friday or something like that. So I was like, it was 12:30 or 12:30 p.m. So it's like, yeah, it's probably not. It's good for us to do the festival, just like connect us to the name, but it's probably not gonna be a lot of people at that point. And then when we're being going out to the stage, there wasn't a lot of people there.
Yeah,
And
cool.
then went back, got ready, and then we walked out. I was like, all of a sudden, it's just fucking packed. There was like thousands of people. I was like, oh, what is this?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was also the day we met Matt Heafy, who jumped on a track with us on our second record. And because I was a big Freedom fan growing up, still am, obviously, but
Yeah.
he approached me and Chris and was like, "Hey, you guys are the guys from CABAL." And we're like, "Yo, what the fuck? How does he know who we are?" Like,
Mhm. Yeah, that's
we ended
cool.
up like hanging out with him for a bit and stuff, and he was just so fucking cool and nice.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was just felt at that point felt weird for somebody who's like as big as he is to just to even know who we were. We were like, "Yo, yeah, this doesn't feel real."
Mhm. Yeah, cool. Outside of your own stuff, what have you been listening to lately? What kind of bands are you checking out at the moment?
I will always say like the new Live record is really fucking good.
Cool.
Yeah, it's every time they put something out, it's always on my repeat list. Just
Yeah,
I like
cool.
going to the gym a lot, so it's yeah, it's a really good soundtrack for lifting heavy stuff.
Yeah, cool.
Uh, I also like the Siamese last record a lot. I don't know if you know that band.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
A Danish kind of like how to say a mixture between kind of like pop and R&B and metalcore, done in a
Okay.
very cool way. They just put out an album called Elements last year. It's really good, so fucking catchy.
Yeah.
Um, and I've also been listening to this guy called Sassy Six, which is kind of like I don't know how to describe it, kind of maybe SoundCloud-ish rap stuff,
Hmm.
sad singy stuff, emo-ish. But he just kind of like took a new direction and made some heavy stuff. It's kind of like some out of like Deftone vibes, but still
Okay.
catchy. It's really
Yeah.
cool. He only put out one song that sounds like that, but I'm really excited to see where he goes next.
Yeah. Cool. Man. So Cabal, you guys made your way down to Australia in 2023, yeah?
Yeah,
I imagine you got heaps of shows ahead with the album and everything. Is there any plans to make your way back down here?
we don't have anything in the books just yet, but we really want to come back. We had a blast last time we were there,
Hmm.
and it's just like Australia is an awesome country. We love it down there.
Yeah.
I used to date an Australian person who lived in Melbourne, so I was there quite a lot.
Yeah, cool.
Uh, like the fucking the trek down there is awful. Like the flight, but it's so you guys are so far away.
We are, man. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I feel like Australian people are so nice and very open, which I like.
Yeah, cool.
And like the nature is beautiful. It's unlike anything we have here.
Hmm.
And it's nice and warm, which I like.
Yeah, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
So what's next for you guys? When are you on the road and stuff? Like,
So and we go on tour with Caliban and in Heart's Wake, which is an Australian band,
hmm.
and a band called Assemble the Chariots. I think the first show is on the 27th of April.
Oh yeah, cool. Yep.
Yeah, and then we have we're out there for like roughly a month, and then we have a bunch of European festivals,
Yeah, cool.
and then we have some stuff that's not hasn't been announced just yet. So
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
there's some cool stuff happening in the fall as well, but I can't really lift the lid on it just yet.
Yeah, that's right, man. Cool. Awesome. Andreas, thanks heaps for your time. And yeah, everyone links below. The new single's out today, so get onto it, man. Thanks a lot, man.
Hell yeah! Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too, man. See ya.